G'day everybody, this is a special recording with myself, Emmett, Nichols, Morgan, Amy and Holly are all in the studio, as is Cohen Van Sambeek on keys. Basically, you might have heard, Impromptunes was nominated for Best Comedy Podcast at the Australian Podcast Awards, which is super exciting, and we're amongst some other randoms like Hamish and Andy, Tony Martin, Dan Illich and Dragon Friends. So we're doing a little tribute song to honour our fellow nominees, and we actually reached out to all of them and asked for a suggestion of what to include in our song, which could be interesting. So Morgan, I'm going to get you to sing about the Dragon Friends podcast. It's
Perfect.
a D&D comedy type vibe. And they said to let you know that Dragon Friends is about the adventures of Filge, Friezo, Baston and Bobby Pancakes, who are an orc, high elf, human and halfling, respectively.
I understood all of that.
Now, the thing you might not know, listeners, about Morgan is that he loves D&D, don't you, Morgan?
I do. I love D&D.
So I'm sure he'll remember every
I
time.
wish I was playing it right now instead of being here with you guys.
So that's Filge, Friezo, Baston and Bobby Pancakes.
Do you think Dragon Friends has an opening? Because I could get on them instead of doing this one.
Let's focus on... let's see who wins the award first.
Yeah.
Holly, you'll be doing A Rational Fear, a play on irrational fear, I imagine, by Dan Illich. And Dan has asked us to please mention anthropogenic climate change. Which, do you know what that is?
I think it means human-made stuff, so I guess human-made climate change.
Yes, I did Google that earlier. Yours, Amy, is SIZZLETOWN by Tony Martin. He has a sound technician by the name of Matt, who's a legend. Now, it's a talkback show, and Tony has asked, could we mention his cat translator, which allows his cat, the Pikelet Man, to call in and do talkback.
Talkback? So we've had a mention of Bobby Pancakes and some
Pikelet
sort
Man.
of pikelet cat.
So there's definitely a theme of flipped fry pan goods. And of course, I'll be taking the Hamish and Andy verse. Now, Hamish and Andy, we reached out to through several means, Facebook message, Facebook post, Twitter message, Twitter post, and Instagram. And their response, well, we're still waiting on the response, so I might have to improvise that one.
God forbid.
I know. So here we are. We are going to be doing the Best Comedy Nominees song. Thank you, Cohen Van Sambeek, for your lovely tunes. Once every year or so there comes a special time when people all around can submit. And if you are the chosen, you might just survive, and you'll know that you never can quit. The Podcast Awards. The Podcast Awards. They can't be ignored. The Podcast Awards. The Podcast Awards. The Podcast Awards. They can't be ignored. At the Podcast Awards.
Dan Illich will get you listening longer. If you listen, if you're a guest, then you're a fearmonger. Don't be afraid, it might sound strange, but he wants you to know about anthropogenic climate change.
And when you're feeling superlative, you know you just need to go roll for initiative with your best friends who aren't dragons but fight dragons with Filch, Friezo, Best and Bobby Pancakes.
Awards.
The Podcast Awards.
They
Can't be ignored.
It's the Podcast Awards.
If you're feeling oh so down, then just turn on an episode of SIZZLETOWN. It's full of lots of really great chats and even a translator to make you be able to hear cats.
And Hamish and Andy, Australia's favourite friends. I don't know a lot about them, 'cause they didn't slide into my DMs.
The Podcast Awards. The Podcast Awards.
You know that you're going to go
Can't
to
be
the
ignored.
at the Podcast Awards.
But there's one more competitor that you must be aware of. The finest of them all.
When they go for those awards, you know they will take the whole store.
If you haven't heard of them, then you're gonna know them soon.
You gotta get yourself a fix of Impromptunes.
The Podcast Awards.
The Podcast Awards.
They can't be ignored. The Podcast Awards. The Podcast Awards.